Hello guys, my name is David Jeffrey, and today on David's Art Channel I am reviewing the Graphic 6B to 4H Derwent pencils. I'm going to attempt to draw a bird, an owl in flight, and I'm going to start with the 4H just because it's easy to rub out, and I'm going to be able to create better shapes with it because it's smoother, and then also it's darker, so it creates more shadow effects which I can use later on. So let's start with this. Owls are actually quite fat, so when I draw these things it's going to look fatter than other birds. Okay, so it looks a bit like a fish from the outlook, and now I have to draw the wing, one of the wings. I always draw everything freehand. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look. Okay, and then around here we will bring out the second wing, which would be to the end, quite large. There we go. Let's start with this. Okay. Okay. We'll come back to the size of the wings in a second, the size of the feathers. Here we go. Okay. So the angles are slightly wrong for these bits. We'll come back to these in a minute. There we go. So this will need to come out back like that, and not quite like that. See, again, reason for me using such a dark pencil, so I can just erase and carry on. Okay, maybe like that. Okay, I had also a half snow one here, comes down like this. Okay, and yet this continues, so I would say it continues to here, coming up like this, like that. this is not the same. This is not quite the same. Okay, so here at the end of the wing here, okay, and then that comes down to there, and out comes the back of the bird here, and then this comes out to here. There we go. Okay, so this needs to match up with here. Okay, right, we'll work out that in a moment. So then we need to get the position of the beak to the eye, which would be about here, and the eye would be about here. Okay. The owl always has that round head, ends about here, up here, like so. And then across to where this is. This will come down like so. Like down to there, like that. Okay. Okay, so that comes around like that, and then straight down like that. There you go. So now colours. Go for a slightly lighter pencil. This is a B, okay, and B, it looks much thinner, much lighter way of doing things. In fact, I'm going to flip to a 6B and do some thicker lines here. There we go. Okay. And I'll do some 6B up here too. Okay. And then the wings need to have a bit more, or less thickness. Let's put it down to a 4H on these. The details of the wings. Here we go. Because it's thin. So to there. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then we'll carry on with the wings down here. And you might notice as I go to the end, I'm curling it over so it actually looks like feathers. Okay, so the next bit will be the whiter, the fluffier feathers. The fluffier feathers, I'm going to go with a much lighter pencil. Go for a fine pencil. Right, okay, so this one in the collection comes up as fine. It's just for a little light detail, and I'll keep it as light as I can. So let's just take that down there. Let's split this up into half so we can really see the difference. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll come back to shadows in a moment. Up here, we need a darker pencil. Let's go for a 5B for this, because these are actually going to be the stripes that show the pattern of the wings. Okay. Now there, in these owls, there's like a dotted effect on the wings, so I'm going to draw in the dotted effect. And the dotted effect gets really thick as you get down the wings, so dots come much closer together. Also, while I'm at it, I might as well do this, which is draws a split up in the wing, because the dotted pattern isn't for the whole area. In fact, there's like a hidden pattern here where it doesn't happen at all. So there we go, just carry on. Okay, and this is the separated pattern. Okay, so there's the wings. Okay. And now we have the back wings. Now here we have patterns on the wings here, which is the same pattern as these wings, but you can't see it so well as you can on these. So it starts with a thick black line, and as it goes down it gets fainter. Okay, so next stage, we need to do the base. So here we have different shaded effects like this. Looks like they kind of look a bit like hairs, but they're not. They're just patterns on the bird itself. And you kind of curve them because that gives the illusion that you're curving around the body. And it goes on to about here on the body. Okay. Okay, so last bit now. Just the wings. Now, these wings come over the top like this. And they come out like this. And they kind of spark at the end like that before heading back. And then this bit at the bottom is where the legs fold in. So what you have is a little bump just about here, which is actually the legs tucked in. Okay. Also, the top here, haven't done this yet. This is where the pattern continues. Okay. And now we have the owl. Okay. Down here, we have a little bit of shading. Just a little bit. And then what I've done is where the lines were, the original lines, I turn those lines into shading. So it's not so obvious that it's a line. It looks more like hair. Okay. Now up here we've got a direct line, which we can't use directly because that will look like just a drawing then. So I lighten the line a lot using the rubber. Okay, and then using this darker tool, I just draw little lines all the way up this line, and in doing so it makes it look like feathers rather than the line. Yeah, and same with the back. Just bring little lines up here, lots of little lines, and then it becomes feathers in the way it's done. Okay, here same thing again, little lines over the line, and it looks like feathers. Okay, now it's looking much more like an owl. There's a few contour lines need to come in here. Okay, and that just brings in more shape to the owl. And then I can rub out a little bit because this doesn't look as like a good shape for the front of the owl. There we go. That's too, it's not curved enough. Okay, so as it comes around like this, we need to create a bigger curve. There we go. Okay, so now it's definitely a bird. And now, because we've got that in place, I'm just going to draw a horizon per se, like a piece of background, and it just finishes off the piece because now it looks like there's land in the background as it flies. And that's it. That's how you create the owl in pencils, and pencils are extremely good to work with. I never had a problem with this set, and I would rank them quite high as far as pencil ability goes and the ability to use different shades and everything. I've created a lot of pieces with these pencils in the past, and I hope you've enjoyed the piece of art that I've been working on right now. And so here it is, my owl.